Today we look back at that purple cubed console that was the Nintendo GameCube. The GameCube first hit stores in North America on November 18th, 2001. It was powered by a custom IBM Gecko PowerPC CPU running at 485 MHz, slightly faster than a 2008 iPhone 3. It had an ATI Flipper GPU and a whopping 43 MB of RAM, coming packed with the amazing resolution of 640 by 480. The GameCube was actually capable of pulling some extremely impressive visuals from its not so impressive hardware. Games like Super Smash Bros. Melee mostly ran at a silky 60 frames per second, while others like Metroid Prime were able to show off an impressive amount of detail. In some ways, the console could outperform the other consoles in terms of graphics, which is visible in games like the horror-themed Resident Evil 4 or the beautiful Wind Waker. But if that doesn't seem impressive enough to you, you can add your own graphics juice. Like the N64, the GameCube featured 4 controller ports on its front panel, as well as 2 memory card slots. It also had 2 high-speed serial ports on the bottom of the machine that no one really ever cared about. One reserved for the optional modem, and the other a high-speed parallel port reserved for the Game Boy player accessory, both of which are on the pricier side. Nintendo went with an 8cm mini DVD for game discs, sporting a capacity of 1.5 GB. This actually made the GameCube the first Nintendo console to cut out cartridges completely. The discs themselves made it much harder for pirates to make unauthorized copies of games. Due to only supporting this custom 8cm mini DVD format, unlike its competitors, wasn't able for playback of DVD, movies, or music CDs, which lost a lot of sales in a market where people were seeking a more all-in-one entertainment machine. Huh. Kinda reminds me of right now. Let's talk about the controller. The GameCube's controller is a magnificent piece of trash! I hate the weird shaped buttons. Sure, it's coming to hold for small 3rd grader hands, but it is flawed. The D-pad is a joke, it's way too tiny and awkward, it's unusable for me, and the diagonal directions are hard to press. Then you have the horrible hybrid of 4 C buttons on the 64 controller, plus a joystick, and now you have the C-stick. This joystick sucks for first-person shooters, and for some reason has weird star edges surrounding it, instead of a normal circle. But hey, it's great when you want to annoy your friends with a cringing clank. Oh, and what's the point of only one bumper button? There really should have been a Z2 button. The A button is a large green circle taking about 40% of the right side. The B button is basically microscopic compared to it. And last but not least, the X and Y buttons are the size of Tic Tacs. Overall, I think the GameCube is an underrated console. The hardware boomerang controller and purple childish look was clearly its downfall, but it had many games that are easily some of my favorites, mainly the exclusives. The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker was probably one of the most controversial Zelda titles ever made, just outside the CDI abominations. With fans going all cray-cray over the cel-shaded graphical style, the game itself is pretty amazing. People still hold this up as a classic, with copies actually becoming very valuable. Super Smash Bros. Melee is yet another great entry in Nintendo's first-party fighter, featuring characters from all the Nintendo franchises. Still set as the best Smash Bros. Game, and some even saying that it's the best fighting game of all time, due to the amount of multiplayer fun the game had to offer. Metroid Prime was the first FPS Metroid game selling over 2.8 million copies. It's a beautiful game with a moody soundtrack, immersive atmosphere, and innovative gameplay. It's a game centered on exploration like games such as Halo, while still staying faithful to the Metroid formula.